YouTube. Here's another driving vlog for you. So lately I've been thinking a lot about burnout in modern work culture. And YouTube seems like a good place to bring this because I know a lot of creators deal with burnout. You're as a YouTube creator, you're a small business owner. Often, when you are getting your channel going, you are the only person there, and you're doing everything, and it's exhausting. So I can relate. I've been working in the tech sector as a data scientist for a few years now, and my jobs have been either fully remote or hybrid, and I've become a semi-nomad, and I love the freedom and agency that you get when you do remote work. I'll go through my story of where that leads to a lack of balance and overwhelm and exhaustion and burnout. So I want to start with a story about a trip I took about a year ago. So I'm based in Bozeman, Montana, and I took a trip to Denver, and I did a lot of stuff, but also worked while I was doing it. Now, I didn't document this trip well enough to do a full travel vlog on it, but I'll mix in clips as I tell it here. So this started out actually in Bozeman on a Saturday night before my trip. I got to see a band called Local Natives. Now, when I lived in Southern California, they were kind of hometown heroes, and it was so exciting, like 15 years later, to get to see them perform in my new home.
I promise not to lose her again.
That was just an awesome show. They're an incredible band. So that was Saturday night. Then on Sunday, spent the day driving to Denver. And while I was in Denver, I caught up with friends, had a lot of constructive time. And on Tuesday night, I went to another concert. I saw Melinda, who is one of my new inspirations and heroes. She's just incredible. So glad I got to see one of the best shows on her first major headlining tour. And then during the day, so I was in Denver for a bit over a week, and during the day I worked from my rental apartment, and then did all kinds of fun stuff in the evening. Now, the weekend after I spent a week working and after I saw these concerts was the main reason why I planned that trip in the first place. It was to go to the Denver Salsa Bachata Congress. So that's that huge Latin dance festival. And if you're unfamiliar with salsa and bachata festivals, I need to give you some background because these things go hard. This started Thursday evening with a taster class and a social dance, and then it goes all weekend into the wee hours of Monday morning. So they have workshops all day, hours of dance performances in the evening, and then social dancing all night long. And it's huge and amazing. Now I ended up I was too preoccupied to film much. All I recorded were a few shows, but I took some interesting workshops, learned learned great new stuff, had some excellent dances, and hung out with a few friends who had come down from Bozeman for this, just for the weekend. And overall, I enjoyed myself. I've been to plenty of these festivals and learned to pace myself previously. But I still felt like I was being pulled in a bunch of different directions and was a bit stressed out. And I ended up missing one of the most exciting parts of that, which was a live performance by Pinto Picasso. He's one of the big names in contemporary bachata music. But he was performing late on Sunday night. And what I did, since I was, working normal hours the week before and after this, I missed out on most of the Sunday night stuff. Then I got up early on Monday morning, drove to Cheyenne, Wyoming, put in a full workday at a Starbucks, and then drove home Monday evening. So my reflection on this is I wasn't fully present for either work or the festival, at least not as present as I would have liked in retrospect. And I wished I'd actually took some time off. Now, I will comment that the ability to take time off of work does seem to vary from person to person. Because I've had some coworkers for whom work is definitely an escape from family or other things going on in their lives. For example, my manager at my previous real job before I went freelance was he would they had this annual family vacation with a bunch of extended family where they would all go to Florida and gather there, and he wouldn't take time off. He would sequester himself in a different room with the door closed so the kids couldn't run in and bother him, and work just seemed to bring him peace. So good for him for being able to do that. I can't. So I had that Denver trip that I told you about, and I've had lots of other trips where I've gone and visited friends as they've moved out and dispersed across the country and started their grown-up post-college lives. And on trips like those, I'll stay with them, work from their place during the day, and go see some new nightlife or whatever, or just hang out in the evenings. And I found that that's a great way to keep in touch with friends as we move through different phases of our lives, and it's I think it's healthy, and I'm really grateful that I've been able to do this, because a lot of these friends wouldn't be able to come back and stay at my place and keep doing whatever they're doing, and those have been really cool experiences. But the reason I talk specifically about that big Denver trip is after that I realized, aside from scattered individual days off here and there for some specific thing, I had not taken an actual vacation in several years. And the constant going was just wearing me out, and I hadn't taken time for a real restorative vacation. So that trip helped me realize the importance of that. So yeah, now I'm trying to make it as a freelancer, finding my own balance, setting my own limits on how much I'm on call and how much I'm just shutting things off to take some vacation. And yeah, I've decided that's important, and I've had trouble learning how to make that make that time and advocate for my needs, or even be mindful of my needs. But I've seen that if you don't do that, it can go a lot of ways. Hopefully you catch yourself before it gets the most extreme, but the worst case is you get really burned out, you quiet quit, and lose your job for poor performance, and then you're stuck with a forced vacation that you didn't plan for and maybe can't afford. So my question for YouTube, and I'd love to get a discussion going in the comments, is how do we go about finding where our boundaries should be and then setting them and being firm? Well, anyways, if I've held your attention through this whole ramble, consider subscribing. I'm gonna be posting more travel vlogs and philosophizing about work culture and mental health and just being a modern nomad, and I'll probably post more music projects on here too. So yeah, thanks for watching, and hope to see you next time.